In the 16th century, the open water of the Caribbean Sea was the most lucrative and dangerous highway on Earth. Beneath the surface of this maritime network lay a staggering volume of wealth. Thousands of tons of raw silver and gold bullion were continually mined from the Americas, waiting to be shipped across the ocean to European treasuries. But retrieving that payload meant navigating a gauntlet. The thousands of lush coves and shallow inlets of the Caribbean archipelagos provided perfect cover for opportunistic pirates who waited quietly in the shadows to strike. Protecting this mountain of precious metals shifted from a shipping logistics hurdle into a matter of imperial survival. The engineers of the era faced a strict physical trade-off. Fast, highly maneuverable ships simply lacked the internal volume and physical displacement required to carry tons of extremely heavy metal. This plot illustrates the trade-off. Building a massive cargo ship to hold the wealth meant creating a bloated, lumbering vessel that traded its speed and maneuverability for capacity, leaving it practically defenseless against an attack. Spain needed to shatter this limitation. They required an entirely new, radical class of vessel that could carry immense weight without sacrificing its ability to survive combat. The answer was the galleon. Spain designed a floating fortress, prioritizing heavily reinforced structure over traditional merchant agility. Compared to average coastal vessels of the time, the galleon was an absolute giant, carrying a massive weight footprint and displacing hundreds of tons of seawater. This cross-section highlights the vessel's internal layout. Cavernous lower decks supported thousands of tons of pressure. As raw silver, gold coins, and hardwoods loaded into the hold, the cargo's sheer density dragged the ship deeper into the water. Yet even fully loaded and sitting deep, the vessel retained the buoyancy and stability needed to survive the violent storms of an open transatlantic crossing. The bottom half of the ship operated as a masterpiece of mercantile logistics, maximizing a kingdom's worth of payload without sinking beneath the waves. But a ship sitting deep in the water, heavy with treasure, is inherently sluggish. In theory, that makes it an easy target for a pirate ambush. This thick, multi-layered oak hull absorbed and repelled cannon fire. Behind it, multiple gun decks provided overlapping horizontal fields of fire. At the bow and stern, towering wooden castles offered a vertical advantage, allowing soldiers to rain fire straight down onto exposed pirate ships below. To maintain maneuvering power while burdened with weight, engineers equipped the ship with a fore and aft rig, a sail arrangement running parallel to the ship, allowing the fortress to catch wind during combat. By stacking thick armor, heavy artillery, and advanced rigging directly on top of a massive merchant hull, the Spanish Navy successfully solved the transport paradox. Despite its individual strength, a galleon rarely crossed the ocean alone. Its true strength relied on the macro strategy of the convoy. This diagram reveals their precise formation. Heavily armed galleons formed an outer perimeter, acting as a fortified shield for the unarmed supply ships in the center. This tight spacing generated interlocking arcs of artillery fire, projecting a moving wall of cannons across the sea. Attacking a lone galleon was already highly dangerous, but attempting to penetrate this mathematical, coordinated defensive formation was tactical suicide. For the outlaws watching these convoys pass from the shadows of the islands, this presented a terrifying reality. Popular fiction often depicts rugged pirates routinely and successfully launching daring raids against these specific treasure ships. The historical record shows the exact opposite. Most pirates actively avoided galleons entirely, well aware that the heavy counterfire would obliterate their smaller vessels instantly. In reality, capturing a galleon was a near impossibility. The few captains who succeeded claimed a fortune so massive it guaranteed their names a permanent place in maritime history. The galleon functioned as a fusion of raw commercial transport and heavy military defense. This single class of vessel allowed the Spanish Empire to systematically extract, secure, and transport unimaginable riches across thousands of miles of hostile water for hundreds of years. They commanded the sea lanes by force, crashing through violent weather and opportunistic threats with massive, unstoppable momentum. During the 16th and 17th centuries, the galleon stood alone as the apex predator of the ocean, a floating fortress that successfully protected the greatest transfer of wealth in human history.